The movie begins with an insurance agent named Mike, who lives a happy and cheerful life with his wife Karen and their son Danny. Everything seems wonderful, but fun comes at the cost of hard work. So, as usual, Karen drives Mike to his office, and during the ride they chat about their financial troubles, joking that their income is just a few coins while their expenses run in thousands. Mike reassures her not to worry, saying they'll somehow manage everything. With that, he boards the train, the same one he's been taking every day for the past 10 years. After such a long time, Mike has made a few regular friends on that train, including an old bald man named Walt. Speaking of friends, now back to the story. Before becoming an insurance agent, Mike actually worked as an undercover cop. Yes, not underwear, but undercover agent. However, he quit that dangerous job for the safety of his family and chose the stability of insurance work instead. It might have been the right decision, if only his boss hadn't fired him today. And the reason for that? Mike couldn't lie as much as his colleagues did. Those agents would shamelessly lie 100 times to sell a policy and earn commission. But Mike wasn't like that. Now, jobless, and with no savings or family property to rely on, Mike was heartbroken. To calm his mind, he went to a bar where he ran into an old friend, Officer Morgan, who now worked with the SPD. Mike opened up about his problems, to which Morgan gave the typical bro response, "Don't worry, we'll figure something out." Just then, another man entered, Officer Dave, a person both of them disliked, who was now promoted to captain. Dave made sure to remind them of their lower status before walking off smugly. Disheartened, Mike headed back to the station. As he walked, he accidentally bumped into a man. Assuming the stranger was just clumsy, he didn't think much of it and boarded the train. But soon, he realized someone had stolen his phone. Before he could step out to look for it, the train doors closed, just like in a metro. Having such a terrible day, Mike decided to distract himself by finding an empty seat and opening a book. That's when a woman named Joanna approached him. She asked, "Would you like to play a game?" Mike, assuming it was something flirtatious, quickly said, "No, I'm married." But Joanna smiled and replied, "You might want to reconsider. This game could earn you $100,000. Hearing that, Mike's curiosity piqued. Joanna explained, "If you want the money, all you need to do is find a person named Prin on this train before it reaches Cold Spring Station and attach this tracking device to them. Once you do, you'll receive $75,000. The remaining $25,000 has already been placed in the bathroom compartment." Mike initially thought she was joking or maybe drunk, but curiosity got the better of him. He went to check, and to his shock, he actually found $25,000 in the bathroom, just as she said. Seeing the cash, Mike thought, "Forget the rest. I'll just take this and disappear." But as soon as he was about to leave the train, a man dressed in black, like a coal miner or a Black Panther, handed him an envelope. Inside it was his wife Karen's wedding ring. Realizing his family was now in danger, Mike froze. Panicking, he borrowed a phone from a passenger named Tony and tried calling Karen, but the call wouldn't go through. He then tried reaching Officer Morgan, but that call failed too. So, in desperation, Mike decided to record a voicemail explaining everything that had happened so far. Mike left a voicemail on Morgan's number explaining everything, then wrote a note on a newspaper for Walt asking him to get off and report to the police that Mike's family was in danger. Walt got off at the next station. While this was happening, Tony's phone, borrowed by Mike, rang. It was actually Laura. On the call, Laura taunted him, saying he thought he could outsmart them and spoil their plan, and warned him to watch what would happen next. No sooner had she spoken than an unknown person shoved Walt in front of a bus, and Walt turned to salt. Seeing that, Mike understood he had to find that Alex on the train at all costs. Using his undercover trained eyes, Mike began scanning everyone. A few people drew his suspicion, but he couldn't search everyone openly. He told the guard, another Black Panther-type man, to check a woman's bag because something felt wrong. As the Panther uncle started to check the girl, a different man stood up and moved away. Mike followed him. When he caught up, the man shoved Mike into a corner and demanded to know who he was and why he was following him. During the scuffle, between 2 or 3 punches, Mike managed to stick his tracker onto that man, thinking the job was done and he could relax. At that moment, Morgan called. He already knew much of Mike's situation and explained that the whole drama revolved around a witness tied to a government employee's death. Morgan said the witness, the Alex Mike was supposed to catch, knew that the government employee's death was not a suicide but a murder, and the witness was heading to meet an FBI agent at Cold Spring Station to give that testimony. That meant powerful people were involved, and they didn't want the witness to meet the FBI. Mike first told Morgan to look after his family, then hurried to try to save the man he'd put the tracker on. When he arrived, there was only the man's bag. Following the ringing of a phone, Mike discovered the man had been killed. And the incoming call on that dead man's phone was from Laura, who accused Mike of putting the tracker on the wrong man and getting him killed, adding that the murdered man had actually been an FBI agent who'd come to protect Alex. Realizing Laura must have an inside man on the train, Mike hatched a plan. He turned off the ACS in the other carriages so everyone would be forced into a single carriage, making it far easier to find Alex and locate Laura's operative. As Cold Spring approached, he intensified his search and spotted the Black Panther again. The Panther asked him whether he'd found Alex, which confirmed to Mike that the Panther was Laura's man. Mike fought him on the spot and threw him off the train. The Panther had underestimated him and paid for it. Laura called again, taunting that Cold Spring was almost there and that now Mike wouldn't attach a tracker to Alex but would have to kill him, because the killer who should have done it, the Panther, had been dispatched by Mike himself. She added a further hint. Alex would be carrying a red book in his hand. Hearing that, Mike quickly turned and looked straight at that girl. It turned out that the person Mike had just found, the one holding the red book, was indeed Alex, the very person because of whom all this chaos had begun. Laura immediately ordered Mike to finish Alex off, but Mike refused to harm an innocent person. Hearing his defiance, Laura coldly replied, "Fine, then you can all die." The moment she said that, an explosion ripped through the train, killing the driver and destroying the engine. The brakes failed, and the train sped out of control, unable to stop at Cold Spring Station where the FBI agents were waiting. Laura's plan was simple. If Mike couldn't kill Alex, then the train itself would never reach its destination. In this deadly situation, Mike quickly called the train staff for help. He instructed everyone to gather in a single compartment so they could detach that carriage from the rest of the train, allowing it to stop safely ahead. To do this, he teamed up with the ticket inspector, the TT, deciding to crawl underneath the train himself because, after all, he was the hero. And if he didn't do it, who would? With great difficulty, he managed to separate the passenger carriage, but the final chain still held them together. Determined, Mike leapt toward the engine car to unhook it. The TT uncle followed him, jumping alongside. Together, they struggled to release the chain, and just in time, Mike succeeded. He jumped back onto the passenger carriage, but the brave TT was carried away with the engine, bidding farewell with a silent thought. After a fiery explosion, the detached carriage finally came to a halt. Mike immediately told everyone that they were still not safe. He instructed them to wet newspapers and cover the windows so that snipers outside couldn't see them. Then he turned to Alex and demanded to know why those people were after her. Alex explained that she possessed evidence proving her friend, a government employee, had not committed suicide, but had been murdered by corrupt police officers. Her friend had planned to expose their corruption files, so they silenced him before he could. Alex had even met an SPD agent for help, but he had only warned her, "If you try to do too much good, you'll end up getting yourself killed." Hearing this, the remaining passengers realized how serious the situation really was. Meanwhile, authorities arrived outside after learning that Mike had taken passengers hostage. They sent his old friend Morgan to negotiate. Mike's first question was about his family, and Morgan assured him they were fine, but demanded that Mike release the hostages. Mike refused, saying that if he let them out, Alex would be killed. Morgan repeated the same line Alex had heard before. "If you try to do too much good, you'll end up getting yourself killed." The instant Mike heard that, he realized Morgan was part of the conspiracy. The same line couldn't be a coincidence. Mike immediately aimed his gun at Morgan. Morgan warned him, "You can't shoot me. There are snipers outside ready to take you down." Thinking fast, Mike secretly took Morgan's tracker. Then he said, "Fine, you do it. You kill Alex yourself." As soon as Morgan pointed his gun at Alex, the snipers outside assumed Mike was about to shoot, unaware that the tracker's signal was now on Morgan. They opened fire, and Morgan was killed instantly, mistaken for Mike. Right after that, an FBI agent named Garcia arrived. He was the one Alex had been heading to meet. With the truth now out and the witness safe, the danger finally ended. No one from Laura's side could harm Mike or Alex anymore. Everyone praised Mike as a hero. Sometime later, when Mike once again boarded the same train, he came face to face with Laura. Calmly, he said, "I know you were behind that government employee's murder, and I'll arrest you soon." Laura smirked and mocked, "Go on, sell your insurance." Mike simply smiled, pressed an imaginary subscribe button, and revealed his FBI badge, showing that he had rejoined the bureau and was back in action, ready to take her down. And that's how our thrilling story of the commuter comes to an end, packed with mystery, twists, and non-stop suspense. So friends, tell me in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Mike's place? Would you have taken that deal or risked everything for what's right? If you enjoyed this roller coaster ride, don't forget to like, share, and drop your thoughts below. Your support means the world. And hey, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next mind-blowing breakdown, because trust me, the next one's going to be even more intense.